Is there further comment on this item?
Your Honor.
Mr. Doyen.
If I may, I would just recommend to the Commission at this point, and I know I haven't heard any of your concerns yet, but I have some. Based on some of the comments that were here tonight, I'd like to take a second review of this.
Okay.
So if it's the Commission's pleasure, I would just, maybe you could just withdraw the motion, and we'll look into some of the concerns that were raised tonight. If there's any concerns from the Commission, please let me know what those are. But I would like to take a second look at that indemnification clause.
Okay. The original motion needs to be withdrawn then?
I will, on the recommendation of the City Manager, withdraw the motion until it can be reviewed by the Manager.
Your Honor,
Commissioner Jolley.
we've asked before for a work session on water rights, and I would sure like one so that we could ask questions before this comes before Commission meeting next time. A work session, please, a work session. I think we agreed we needed another work session on water rights, right,
Okay.
Mr. Commissioner Bronson?
Yes, that's correct.
So another work session on water rights, and then, the public, we have questions. We have Ms. Balzarini as our water rights expert here in town, so perhaps she could answer some questions then. Thank you.
Your
Is
Honor,
there a substitute motion, Mr. Beecher?
you want a substitute motion?
You
We're
withdrew
just
the other
withdrawing.
one.
Okay. I'd like to make a comment that I think for some of the indemnification thing, I'm not a lawyer, but I don't totally understand the reason for this, so I think that's a good move. But on the other side, from a standpoint of this particular consultant, he has a wealth of knowledge and background about the city's position on water rights. This is just an proposed amendment to the existing contract. To throw that out just seems to me not to be very good business. Secondly, I would assume that if we put this out for bid, all these other water right folks, there would probably be that type of potential conflict for interest across the board out there. I can't say that for sure, but I just don't want the public to go away thinking that we aren't, at least this commissioner is not satisfied with the work that this consultant's done today.
Yeah. Your Honor.
Commissioner Bronson.
For the purposes of clarification, there is a statement in Ms. Balzarini's report about my recommendation. It should be clear, however, that my recommendation did not concern this contract. This contract was just presented to the Commission for review within the last few days. My recommendation went to a previous memo that was submitted to all the commissioners and the mayor by Ms. Balzarini, which brought to our attention the terms of the temporary preliminary decree issued by Judge Lobel. And apparently I was the only member of the commission that responded to it, and my response was that it is prudent for the city to be a participant in assessing all of the claims that are made in connection with that temporary preliminary decree, and anybody who has a water right in those two basins would be foolish not to have those particular rights assessed and examined. And I think we are all in agreement, and even the people who spoke tonight, I didn't hear any disagreement that we should not go forward at least on that. Secondly, just so everyone is clear, companies like this one that provide this type of work, yes, they're not attorneys, but if you think that attorneys are the only ones that have anything to say about water rights issues, then you're sorely mistaken. This company provides research with respect to hydrology, with respect to whether or not these rights will interfere in terms of the quantum of rights that are involved. I am an attorney, but I would be really reluctant to rely on my expertise in that particular area, whether or not my rights were being used in such a way that they were interfering with somebody else. I want to talk to a hydrologist, and that's what this company does. That's the kind of research they've provided, and I think to echo what Commissioner Beecher has said, this company has a very excellent track record in providing very good services to this community. That being said, when I did review the contract, I do have some questions about some of the terms and conditions in there. And for that reason, I'm certainly comfortable with putting off any final discussion about this particular contract or whether we go with this company or someone else. What I do want to emphasize, though, and I hope everyone, including the mayor and the commission and those of you in the audience who are concerned about this, is that we need to get on top of this issue as soon as possible. We have until a date certain in August to respond to the preliminary decree. And if we do not do that, then this community is not acting prudently. So I would urge the manager to take whatever steps are necessary to get this expedited and back to us as soon as possible so that we do not lose any rights that we do have.
I certainly agree with that.
Yeah, and Your Honor, I'd like to reiterate that I requested some information about a month ago, and it was, I wanted to know what commission action was taken to modify the historic Gibson water rights. It might have been the right decision, but, you know, there were no public hearings on water rights. There's no discussions like this about water rights until tonight. And I wanted to know what commission action was taken regarding the PPL settlement. And it's my understanding that Water Rights Solutions, that's Mr. Schmidt, and in 2005 he stated that the city had ample water under the existing water rights to run the city, and even if the city was to grow, there would be enough water to meet increased demands. And that was when he was here and talking about Highwood Generating Station. And in 2006, he said the city's reserve water right equated to that of a small irrigation ditch. He concluded that after working for years in this field, he could not imagine the detrimental effect on the city's water supply or water usage down the river caused by the plant. I also have a question about us not having any files in this building. Someone told me that there are files in Martha Kappa's office. Are there files in Martha's office, Coleen? Water files? No, because there's an email directed to you from Harris and Harley and Harris. Those are water rights attorneys.
Luxon and Murfitt is the law firm. Mr. Harris is an attorney in that firm.
Okay, Harley Harris, and this is dated on January 3rd, and attached is a copy of the draft DNRC permit decision. Please let me know if you have any questions, and also if it's okay to sign it and send it back to DNRC for issuance. On the other matters, please let me know if you get hold of Don or someone else to review your industrial water portfolio and contracts. I'll be happy to fill them in on it. So and this is also, you send this off to Martha Kappas, and I'm assuming she kept some files too of water issues in this building. But if you tell me she doesn't have any files, then I guess she doesn't have any files.
Yes, please, Ms. Balzarini.
I guess I'd like to have an opportunity to respond to a few of these things. One, the indemnification clause, perhaps it is not as good as it could be, but it was added at the recommendation of our risk manager. Two, item number 14 talks about the insurance that the consultant is required to have. That includes comprehensive general liability and professional liability insurance. So for the part that they're responsible for, if there's a lawsuit, their insurance will cover it. Our insurance will cover anything that we're responsible for. The dollar amounts that are listed under item 14 for insurance are those that we require for every contract that the city has. The fact is that the consultant has significantly more insurance in these areas. Mm-hmm. The items that you're asking for regarding the PPL amendment and the agreement, those items were part of the filing for the change in the point of diversion for the Highwood Generating Station. I believe that you asked the city clerk for a copy of the filing that was sent to DNRC, and that is in fact what you got. But you did not get the amendments, which I believe are part of the attachments to that filing. When we talk about original records and where they belong, DNRC is the custodian of water records for the state of Montana. The state of Montana owns the water. We simply have a right to use it. All original records reside with the owner, which is the state of Montana, and they are on site at one of the DNRC offices. a couple of the documents that Mr. Lewin is saying that he has not had made available to him over a week ago. The other members of his group were notified that those were available on the website at DNRC. We could either make copies for him and charge him for it, or they could go out and run their own copies. Now, have we gotten everything to everybody that we should have? Probably not. But Martha does not have records. I don't know why you think she has records.
Well, someone told me she did because they had a conversation with her.
Well,
and
I don't know who someone is.
That's why I'm asking.
Well, and I said
could have
no.
just not asked and kept wondering.
And I said no.
Yes, and I heard you say no, but you're misunderstanding what I'm asking for. I'm asking for what commission action this commission, this
Well,
body had when
All right,
they
and I've
gave the
responded to
authority,
that.
in what method, and a couple weeks ago you told us that you were working on that and
And I
that you had
continue
to
to
go
work on
through
that.
work sessions
Unfortunately,
and
I also
memos.
have to
Can we take
continue
turns here,
working.
please?
You had to
Point
go
of
through-
order.
You had to go through work sessions and memos, and I said, no, I don't want work sessions and memos, I just want commission action. And, thank you if you're still working on it.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Yes.
If you want to know what commission actions were taken, and I believe that there is more to the story than that, but if you want to know what commission actions were taken, the city clerk has a record of all commission actions.
And I've looked through the record on the website, and I just can't find any. This is the first public forum we've had with public comments where we were attempting to make some decisions about our water rights. So I was wondering how the decisions have been made in the past on this important subject.
Your Honor?
Yes.
It is not the first public session that we have had. We have had work sessions, which are publicly noticed, and all the commission is in attendance, and they are public meetings. They've had opportunities. Mr. Lewin has commented at them. A number of different people have commented at them. And that is the rest of the story as far as I'm concerned. If we want to know what commission action, the city clerk has those records.
And there is no commission action at a commission meeting that dealt with water issues, and that was my question. How are these things accomplished without, in a local government, the public knowing what's going on?
Your Honor.
Mr. Beecher.
Mr. Bronson can correct me if I'm wrong, but at this point in time, there has been no issue that has required commission voting in regards to the water rights review, or even where you're diverting an intake of water from one point to another does not require a policy type vote.
I would say it should. Water rights are
Well,
real property.
it
It's
does.
citizens should know what's going on. That's
again,
how they
that's-
do know, by commission actions. Work sessions don't decide commission action. Memos don't decide commission action. And emails don't decide commission action. That's my feeling
Your
as an
Honor.
elected official.
And I would disagree with that feeling. But anyway, I would suggest we move on.
I would second that.
And please,
Ms. Balzarini.
there are two definite actions that were taken when we entered into a raw water agreement with the malting plant, when we entered into a raw water agreement with Highwood Generating Station. Both of those make reference to raw water and the activities that need to be done in regards to our water rights to make that happen.
All right. Thank you very much. Moving right ahead, we have a motion on the floor to withdraw.
I just withdrew it.
Yeah.
You just
You
withdrew
tried.
it?
Made a substitute
Okay.
motion.
You would entertain a substitute motion?
Table it, I guess. Okay, I'd make a motion, we'll table it till the next commission meeting and allow the city manager to look at the indemnification. But I would echo what Coleen says, if my other fellow commissioners have been reading in tenacity like I do our contract agreements. When we contract with people, we indemnify them, and then we have the insurance requirements. It's almost identical to what we have in all our construction contracts. And I've been looking at them for 12 years sitting here, and they're pretty much the same thing. So,
And could I also ask that maybe we schedule a workshop on water rights issues?
Yeah, like a day-long one, please. Thank you, Your Honor.
Well, Your Honor, if I may, I think at a minimum, maybe what's in order here is that the commission maybe hears from the current consultant and kind of gives you a progress report and update, just to kind of refresh everybody's memory of where we're at. and where we're needing to go. And maybe that would establish some level of comfort with continuing, or the commission would be in a better position to assess whether or not they want to put it out to bid. But it's clear to me, and I think it's clear to staff too, a very important issue. We'll work to resolve any issues that we have on this before we bring it back to the commission. It's very likely going to take another period of time, not consistent with the work sessions, to do this. So we will be in touch with you in short order to determine some other dates, so we have enough time to kind of cover, at least on an initial basis, some background and get everybody up to speed on this so we know where to go.
I think with that August 4th deadline looming, and we know how fast time passes, that this should probably rise to the top of the priorities list.
I'll second Mr. Rosenbaum's motion for the purposes of discussion, if there is any, or a vote.
Pardon me?
All those in
Further
favor?
discussion?
Yeah, I would like to say, I would like to see who okayed reducing the historic gifts in water, right? What discussion was held by the commissioners? I'm not saying it wasn't the right thing to do. I know you have to, but there must be some report about that, not just it was done, which is what we learned in January.
All right. We have a motion on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing no opposition, motion is passed.